Hi, welcome to Bit20Key. In this video, we are going to learn about what is inheritance in Python. Inheritance is nothing but one concept of OOPS, that is object-oriented programming in Python. Let's see what is inheritance. It is the process of acquiring the common properties from one class to another class. This concept is very useful in practicing the reusability of the code. This inheritance concept makes it easier and logical to have a well-structured code. Alright, so let's see what are the different types of inheritances. There are single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, hybrid inheritance. Let's get started with different inheritances individually. So first of all, we'll go for single level inheritance. What is single level inheritance? It is a simple form of inheritance where it enables a child class to adopt or inherit properties and methods from one parent class only. That means in the below diagram, you can see we have defined two classes. One is class A, another one is class B. Alright, so class B is inheriting from class A. That means class B is child class of parent class A. Alright, so let's see some example for single level inheritance. Let me just mention single level inheritance. Alright, let's create one class A, and then we'll define constructor, and here I'll take self comma x. So one argument I'm just mentioning here. Let's initialize the variable self dot x1. I have taken x1 equals to x. Alright, next I'll print the value of x. So what will be self dot x1. Alright, so next I'll create another class which is nothing but class B. So whatever the diagram I am showing, so as per the diagram I'll be giving the examples. Okay, so here class B is child of class A, so that means we need to mention class B of A. Alright, next we need to create the constructor, and here as I said, the class B, if it is inheriting from class A, that means class B is having the access of entire class A data members. These are nothing but data members. Whatever data members are present in class A, all those can be accessed by class B, because we have taken the class B as child of class A. Alright, this is class B is inheriting from class A. Okay, so here I can mention class X, whatever I have taken the argument, same argument I'm going to use here, and along with that I'll mention Y argument also for class B only. Alright, so next I need to initialize the I need to assign the variable. Okay, so let's take y1 equals to y. Alright, next I'll print self dot y1. Alright, but here we have mentioned everything, but the thing is, very important thing is, we need to initialize the inheritance here. Alright, in the child class. So what will be the syntax? A dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore self comma x. So whatever the properties or whatever the arguments we have defined in the constructor of parent class, same we can take here. Alright, or else another way is, I am mentioning here, it is, we can call the superclass. Superclass is nothing but the parent class. Alright, superclass dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore x. Here no need to use self because we are not mentioning the class name, I mean parent class name. We are just mentioning superclass here. Alright, so no need to mention self. We'll see another example. Okay, but I am just giving you the syntax here. Now we can create the object equals to, I'll take class B, because why I have taken class B? Because class B is having the access of class A. So if I'll create the A object, I cannot access the data members whatever present in class B. So that is why I am taking, or I am creating B object for accessing the data members present in class B as well as class A. Alright, so now in class B I have used two arguments, so I need to pass two values here. Alright, so I'll mention 1 and 2, so it will be taking x1 and sorry, x and y. Alright, so next let's print the value of object dot x1 and print the value of object dot y1. Alright, let's see what will be the output. Output should be 2 1 1 2. Okay, so why it is taking self dot x1? Because I have printed it as the string, so that is why. So it will be printing the value of x1, self dot x1. So self dot, first it will be printing what it will be printing. So it will be printing self dot y1. So what is the self dot y1? It will be 2. Then self dot x1. Self dot x1 will be, here we are mentioning, right? Self dot x1 will be 1. And then object dot x1, that is 1. And object dot y1, that will be 2. Alright. So next we'll see another example with superclass. Alright. So let me just copy this one. I'll show you how it works. Okay, I'll just remove these two lines, these two prints, to avoid confusion. Okay, so here also I'll remove. Alright, and here also I'll remove this line. We'll use superclass method here. Okay, so here what should be the answer? The output should be 1 comma 2 or 1 2. Alright, So you can see here. Okay, so here I can also print in a single print statement, comma, object dot y1. So the output will be 1 2, right? Let's see the next inheritance. So next inheritance is multi-level inheritance. In this inheritance, a class is inherited from a class which in turn is inherited from another class. So in the diagram you can see we have used class A, class B, class C. So class C is inheriting from class B and class B is inheriting from class A. That means class A is parent for class B and class B is parent for class C, which means you can see whatever we have written. In this inheritance, a class is inherited from a class, which means class C is inherited from class B, which in turn is inherited from another class, whose in turn is inherited from class A. Alright, so let's see one example for this. So let me just comment it. I'll mention multi-level inheritance. Alright, so what is multi-level inheritance is, let me just copy the same, copy and paste, or else let me write it down properly. Okay, so next step is we'll create the constructor in itself. So here we can pass one argument and we need to self dot, let's take x1 as the variable. We need to initialize the variable here equals to x, then we'll print I'll remove the print. Let's create another class, that is class B of A. Alright, so as per the diagram I am just creating the example. So it will be def underscore underscore init in itself comma x comma y. Okay, so b of a is x comma y. Next here I need to initialize, so self dot let's take y1 equals to y. So what should be the next step? We need to initialize the inheritance. How we can initialize? A class name, I mean parent class name dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore, here we can mention self comma x. Alright, so next we'll create another class which is nothing but C, and here we are going to inherit from class B. Alright, next we'll create the constructor underscore underscore self. Here we'll use x comma y comma z. Why I have taken x comma y? Because the same arguments whichever it is present in the parent of C, the same I need to use here, and along with that I am using another variable or argument for class C. Alright, so here I need to initialize self dot, let's take z1 equals to z. Alright, next is b dot, I need to initialize the inheritance. Okay, so here it will be self comma x comma y. Alright, so next step, we are going to create the object equals to class C. Why I am taking class C? Because class C is inheriting from class B and class B is inheriting from class A. Alright, so if I am using class C, that means class C is having access of B and class A, right? So here I am taking class C. And how many values I can pass? So there will be 3 values because I have already mentioned 3 parameters here. Okay, so I need to use 3 values here. Alright, so what can be the 3 values? Anything I can take. Suppose I'll take 1, 2, comma 3. Okay, so by default it will be taking us 1, 2, 3 as x, y and z value, right? So let's print values of object dot x1 comma object dot y1 comma object dot z1. All right, so let's print. Let's see what should be the output. All right, so it should be 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's see next inheritance, which is nothing but hierarchical inheritance. So what is hierarchical inheritance? In this inheritance concept, one parent class is used to create multiple classes and all the classes have same parent. So as per our diagram, you can see we have defined 3 classes here, and that is class A, class B and class C. So here, as per the diagram, class B and class C both are inheriting from class A. That means class A is parent of both class B and class C, and both class B and class C are child class of parent class A. Alright, let's see one example for this. Let me just comment it. So next inheritance concept is hierarchical inheritance. Alright, so let's see one example for this. Let me just create a class A. So as per the diagram, we'll be creating, let's create the constructor init self comma x, and next we need to initialize the variable self dot I'll mention 1 equals to x. Okay, so next what is happening? So next we'll create another class, that is nothing but class B of A. Alright, so here I need to create the constructor underscore self comma x comma y. Next self dot let's take 2 equals to y. Okay, next is a dot, I need to initialize init underscore self comma x. Okay, let's take another class which is nothing but C, and C also is the child class of A. C is inheriting from class A. Okay, so I'm going to use the same here. Okay, so here let me just copy and paste. So here I'll pass separate argument for class C, and here I'll take another variable as 3 and I'll assign z here. Okay, next here I can mention self comma x, or else we can mention a dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore self comma z. Why? Because in this case we have already initialized the inheritance here in class B, so no need to mention it again. But if we are mentioning it again, so that is also fine, or else we can mention it as z. Okay, next we'll be creating the object equals to which object I'll take. Let's take B object B, and I'll take object B as class name B. Okay, so here in class B I have mentioned two arguments. Let's pass two values. I'll take suppose 444 comma 777. Okay, let's print the same values. Okay, object B dot 1 comma object B dot 2. All right, so likewise we can create another object as object C. This will be for C object. Here also we have mentioned two arguments, so we need to pass two values. So let's take 888 and 999. All right, so here next we can print the same object C dot 1 comma object C dot 3. Okay, let's run it and let's see the output for this. Okay, so here is the output as 444, 777, 888 and 999. All right, so this is the hierarchical inheritance. I'll give you another simple example, real life example, so that you can relate. Okay, so let's take class animal. Okay, I'm just creating animal class. I'm not going to create any constructor here. Okay, so I'll define the method directly. So method should be, suppose I have mentioned or defined sound, so here I can mention self. Next I can print some message. Let's see, animal makes sound. All right, so next we can create another class which will be, suppose cat class. Cat is nothing but inheriting from animal. All right, so let's create or define one method which is how cat says meow, right? Meow, and here I need to mention self. Let's print some message here. Let's say cat says meow. All right, likewise we'll create another class which is nothing but dog, and dog is inheriting from animal class. Okay, so let's define one method, how dog barks bow. Okay, let's create bow method, and here we can mention self. Let's print some message here. um let's say dog says bow. All right, and next we'll assign some variable as c equals to cat object or cat method, sorry, cat class. Next is d equals to dog class. I'll just answer here. Let's print one message here. Let's say this will be cat object. Okay, and here I can call the methods c dot sound and c dot meow. All right, likewise I'll print something for dog object also. Okay, let's say this is dog, and dog will be having d dot sound, and then it will be d dot bow. Okay, so let's see what will be the output. You can see here and below. So first it has been printed cat object, then animal makes sound, cat says meow, then dog object, animal makes sound, and dog says bow. Alright, so this is your hierarchical inheritance. Okay, let's go for next inheritance concept. So next is multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is nothing but it referred to the situation where one class is derived from more than one parent class. That means, as per the diagram, here in the diagram you can see there is class A, which is nothing but one parent class, another class B, which is nothing but another parent class. So here class C is inheriting from both class A and class B. That means both class A and class B both are parent class for class C, and class C is the child class of both class A and class B. Alright, so let's see one example for this. Let me mention this is multiple inheritance. Okay, so here let's create a class which is nothing but class A. Let me define the constructor, and here I can pass one argument which is x, and I need to initialize self dot 1 equals to x. Alright, so next I need to create another class which is nothing but class B. Okay, so here we can create the constructor, and here we can this is another parent class, so here also I can mention self comma y. Okay, so I need to initialize self dot 2 equals to y. Alright, see, so next I need to create a child class which is child of both A and B. Okay, I'll create child class as C. C will be the child class of class A and B. Okay, because C is inheriting from class A and B. So how we can mention A comma B. Okay, so let's create constructor for class C. Init self comma x comma y comma z. Okay, why I have taken x comma y? Because I have combined these two. Okay, we have combined these two as a comma b, so that is why I have taken x self comma x comma y, and z, the new variable I have taken. So I have passed this argument, so I need to initialize this one. So it should be suppose 3, okay, equals to z. All right, so now we need to initialize the inheritance. So it should be self comma x, and also b is another parent class for C. So again we need to initialize the inheritance for class B, self comma y. Okay, now we'll create the object. Object equals to class C object I am taking. Okay, so here I need to pass 3 arguments. Okay, suppose let's take 8, 9, 10. Okay, next is let's print the values of object dot 1 comma object dot 2 comma object dot 3. All right, let's run it and let's see the output for this. See, 8, 9, 10. All right, so let's go for the next inheritance concept, that is nothing but hybrid inheritance. What is hybrid inheritance? Hybrid inheritance is combination of more than one type of inheritances. All right, it is commonly used in high level design. Okay, in the diagram you can see I have defined 4 classes: class A, class B, class C, class D. All right, so this is the example whichever I have taken here. This is the example of hierarchical and multiple inheritance I have combined and I have given the example. All right, that means class D is inheriting from class B and class C, and both class B and class C both are inheriting from class A. All right, let's see some examples. So next step, I'll create let me just mention this will be your hybrid inheritance concept. Okay, so let's create one class A. What happened? Okay, so this is class A, and next I need to define the constructor, and here I can pass some argument which is nothing but w. Let's take self dot 1 equals to w. Next I'll create another class which is nothing but b of A. Okay, so here I'll create another constructor which is nothing but w comma y, self comma w comma y. Why? Because A is the parent for B. Okay, so that is why I have taken self comma w, and y I have taken for class B. Okay, so now here I have to initialize self dot, let's take another one variable, that is 2. So here I can give or I can initialize. All right. So next step, we are going to initialize the inheritance here. Okay, so this will be nothing but self comma w. Okay, so now we are going to create another class which is c of a. Okay, let me just okay, I'll write it down. Let's create another constructor which is nothing but init self comma this will be w comma suppose x. Okay, I'll take x here. Okay, next is self dot 3 equals to x. Next is I need to create another class which is nothing but d of what I said, how we can mention. So it will be b comma c. So here I forgot to initialize the inheritance. Okay, let me just copy it and paste it. Okay, so this will be your initializing the inheritance. Okay, next is let's create def underscore underscore init underscore underscore. It will be self comma w comma x comma y comma z. All those three arguments I have mentioned along with new argument which is z. Oh, I have mentioned out of the this one parenthesis, or let me do it inside. Let's initialize the new variable which is nothing but, let's see, self dot 4 equals to z, and here we need to initialize the inheritance b underscore underscore let me just write it down, underscore underscore init. Okay, so here it should be self comma w comma x, sorry, y. Okay, another one will be c dot init self comma w comma x. Okay, so now we can create the object equals to, I'll create the d object. Okay, so here I need to pass 4 arguments. Alright, so now we can print the values of 1 2 3 4. Okay, let's see, object dot 1 comma object dot 2 comma object dot 3 comma object dot 4, sorry 4. Okay, so let's print, or let's execute this code and let's see the output. Output should be 1 2 3 4. Alright, so this is the example I have given you for hybrid inheritance. Okay, so let's see, I'll give you another example, another simple example for hybrid inheritance. Let me just comment it. Okay, So let's see, let's create a class. Suppose I am taking a class as vehicle, and I'll create a method so underscore vehicle. Okay, so vehicle, this one I'll mention self. This is the method I have created. Let's print some message. This is for understanding purpose. Okay, I'll make it as simple for your understanding. Suppose this is a general vehicle. All right, so let's create another class that will be car feature, and it should be inheriting from vehicle. Okay, so here we need to create the method. Suppose I'll take car underscore features. Okay, here I need to mention self. So let's print some message. Suppose car has 4 wheels. All right, next is I'll create another class which is nothing but bike features. Okay, which is also inheriting from vehicle. Okay, so here I can mention bike underscore features and self. So bike features, car features, so vehicle, all these are methods I have created. Okay, so now let me just print some message. Bike has 2 wheels. Okay, next I'll create another class which is nothing but electric vehicle. Okay, so electric vehicle can be a bike and it can be a car, right? Because we have different types of electric vehicles are there. So this is as car feature also. uh, so it will be inheriting from car feature comma bike feature as well. Okay, so next I'll create one method that is electric underscore vehicle. Okay, so let's mention self here. Okay, next we'll print some message for electric vehicle. So here we can mention electric vehicle uses battery. All right, battery power. Let me mention power also. Electric vehicle uses battery power. Okay, so next we are going to create the object equals to electric vehicle. Okay, next let's call the object dot. How we can call the method? Through object dot, let's say so vehicle. Let's call the object dot car features. Let's call the bike feature also. let's call the electric vehicle. Okay, so we have created 4 classes, which is nothing but class electric vehicle is inheriting from both class car feature and class bike feature. Okay, so that is why we have taken these two, and also these two car feature and bike feature classes both are inheriting from class B. Okay, so let's see the output will be, this is a general vehicle, this is nothing but object dot show vehicle. Okay, so it will be printing this is a general vehicle, then object dot car feature. So in the car feature, whatever we have mentioned, it will be printing the same. Car has 4 wheels. Next, as well as bike has 2 wheels. Next is electric vehicle uses battery power. Alright. So this is nothing but our inheritance concept. Okay. I hope you clearly understood what exactly inheritance is. And I hope this video really makes an effect for you, and also if you feel the same, like if you feel like this video is really helpful for you, please like, comment, share, and please do not forget to press the bell icon to subscribe my channel. Thank you.